Welcome to the Sam and Joe VA Show, where we teach women just like you how to create your very own in-demand virtual assistant business.
We're your hosts, Sam and Joe, and get ready to have the control, flexibility, and freedom you've always dreamed of.
Welcome to episode 40, the worst advice given to virtual assistants.
Yeah, there's some doozy pieces of advice flinging around the internet at the moment. Well, in fact, not even at the moment. You see them all the time. There seems to be a lot of really bad advice right now, though, and I think that's just generally due to this influx of virtual assistants we're seeing in the industry right now.
Yeah, and I think some virtual assistants too, they get advice from a business coach or someone who actually doesn't understand what a virtual assistant is, the benefits. They haven't used one. They don't know what the concept really involves. And so, they're giving advice based on not understanding. And yeah, so it's interesting what we have heard, haven't we, Sam? Some of the virtual assistants saying that they have received this advice and then they're now confused, and they get conflicting advice from different people, and yeah.
Yeah, and that's confusing, and that doesn't help with the overwhelm that a lot of women feel when they initially come into the industry. It's tough enough to get your head around what needs to be done anyway, but then when you're receiving either conflicting advice or really, really bad advice, but they don't know it's bad advice. They're trusting this person that's trying to help them. And that's the thing. I think a lot of this advice, it does actually come from a really good place. I don't think the people that are giving it can realize the damage that it can cause.
Yeah, they so let's go through. We've got five key worst advice that we have heard. So the first one, I think it really is the worst, and we teach the opposite. So the advice is, oh, no, you need to drop your rate because no one will pay that.
Yeah, I mean, I've had this. This is one that I had really early on, or actually, and even now, and it's generally from like my family members, parents, grandparents, when they ask about the business and they're kind of like, oh, how much are you charging out, or what are you earning? And I'll say the figure, and they're just like, what? Who's going to pay you for that? Like, they just can't get their head around the fact that I do actually have clients that are more than willing to pay that amount. And they don't mean it in a bad way. I think they're probably just a little bit taken back because none of them have ever run their own businesses. They've never been consultants. They've drawn, their wages has gone into their bank account every week or every fortnight from their employee for dozens of years. And it can be actually quite hurtful, I think, when you're first starting out to hear that, because it does make you question everything, and it shouldn't.
I actually heard a virtual assistant say that advice that they had given and been given from a business coach, which I thought was terrible. But this business coach, obviously, so I think people put this lens over, when you say what your rate is, they have this like, oh, but they directly compare it to an employee doing an admin role and the hourly rate that they get. And it's just not a comparison that is relevant. And it's not, it's the whole apples and oranges things. It's just not the same thing. So yeah, I think getting really clear on the benefits of someone hiring a virtual assistant and getting really clear on all of your costs that are involved, your operational costs, and just, going for it. Don't worry about the people who say, oh, that's too expensive. Move on to people who will pay your rate. And I think take a look around and see all of the other virtual assistants who are successful and are charging high hourly rates. If they can do it, then there's no reason why you can't do it too. And people are paying them that hourly rate, so it means that there are absolutely clients out there who will pay your rate.
Yeah, and you will occasionally come across a client that doesn't want to pay your hourly rate, and that's okay.
Mm.
They're not your ideal client. Bye-bye.
Yeah. And if you get too many people saying yes, like if every single person says yes and hires you at your hourly rate, then your rate is probably too low and you need to put it up anyway.
Yeah. It's all about confidence, isn't it? With that one, I think you've
Yeah.
really got to stick to your guns, and it's not going to be long if you're doing everything else right, and you'll find going to the right places in order to find your clients. It will not be long before you do have clients that are willing to pay that rate that you're asking. So ignore all of those naysayers, please.
Yeah. So the next one is that you should be running Facebook ads. And we definitely have an opinion on this, don't we, Sam?
Oh my gosh. Yes, there is a time and a place for Facebook ads. However, it is not a magic thing. Setting up a Facebook ad or boosting a post, especially when you are first starting out, with no strategy, with no training on how to do it, that is not going to find you clients. So if you are looking for a quick win, and you've put it out there, you've put a question out into the universe, and you've said, where can I find my clients? I need more clients. Where do I go? And if somebody says Facebook ads, please do not go away and fumble your way through Facebook Business Manager and try and do that. It is not going to find you the right type of clients anyway. Though for those virtual assistants that it has worked for, they haven't done it when they're first starting out. And they've probably gone away and got some training as to how to do it right and got an overall marketing strategy. So it's not just about Facebook ads.
Yeah, and they've built up the credibility, they've built up the followers, they have built up some brand awareness. Like, people aren't just going to hire a virtual assistant straight off the bat without knowing anything. This is a trust relationship. They're handing over information that you get to see inside their business, and so that doesn't come with just like, oh, I saw a VA on a Facebook ad, so I'm going to hire them. Like, that's not how it works. So you've got to that's down the track. So starting out, definitely not running Facebook ads. You'll just throw away money. All right, next. Oh, I heard a VA say that a business coach had said this to them. And the business coach said, you have to be making like $200K for it to be a successful business. Who says that?
No way. What on earth? What if that's not why you've started up your business? What if the reason you've started up your business is to work around your kids or your young family or your elderly parents that need support? What if that's the reason? And so you don't actually want to be working full-time hours.
And I don't think anyone can tell you what the magic number is that you should be earning. It's up to you to figure out what you want, what you need, what your goal is, and what your lifestyle is, and where you live and how you live. And so don't let anyone tell you what a magic successful dollar amount is. That's all completely up to you. It's not all about money. It's about lifestyle as well. And it's about, maybe for you, family, or having time with kids, or having flexibility. All sorts of things come into why you're in business. So it should not revolve around what someone else deems as a successful annual earning.
Wow, I'd be really concerned if my business coach was giving me that type of advice. That's shocking coming from a business coach. It just goes to show, though, doesn't it? Like, not all business coaches or mentors are created equal.
Yeah. All right, next one. Oh, you love this one, Sam. So do I. That's sarcasm, if anyone couldn't pick that up. You need to have a website before you launch.
Please, no. Please. No, you do not. You do not. Yes, have it on your kind of your plan, maybe your 2-year plan in business or 1-year plan in business, but do not hold off launching your business just until you've got your website up and running. It makes no sense whatsoever. When you're first starting out, you don't know enough yet about yourself as a business owner, about the business that you're creating in order to get that messaging right yet. I really don't believe you know enough. I didn't, that's for sure. I think I did. I think I started creating my business about 8 months in, and even then it was a struggle. So I can't even imagine how long it would have taken me if I was trying to create a website that converts and that a website that feels like me and my business that early on in the show.
It's not necessary. I mean, you create websites. Like, it's not that you're anti-websites. It's actually what you do. It's that we see too many virtual assistants spending too much time getting everything perfect, creating a website, agonizing over it before they've even started telling people in their current network what they're actually doing and bringing in that first client. And I find it really interesting when people say, oh, I'm going to launch my business on this date. And it makes me think, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to launch your business on a certain date. You don't have to have all these things ready. You just literally need to know what you're going to say your business is called. It could just be your name, Virtual Assistant Services, to begin with. You need to know what type of services you're going to provide and what your rates or your packages, are going to be. Like, start off with an hourly rate if that's super easy for you. And then just start telling people in your current network what you're doing.
Yeah, it's as simple and as unexciting as that.
So
And
this
maybe that's the
launch
thing.
date, it's not necessary.
Sorry, you go.
No, just the launch date. It's just not necessary.
Yeah, I think people have. I don't know. Is this a? You've got this idea in your head about being a successful business owner means having this date with the red carpet and the prime minister here and cutting the ribbon. I don't know. I mean,
having your shit together.
Yeah.
You don't have to have your shit together at all to actually launch.
Yeah.
You'll work it out as you go. You just need to get that first client under your belt.
Yeah, this comes down to imperfect action, doesn't it? Just putting yourself out there and going for it. And I think we've said this before. You become an official virtual assistant the first time anybody pays you for your services. That could be your mum. That could be your sister. That could be your neighbor down the road. As soon as you get paid for that service that you've provided anybody, you're a virtual assistant at that point. That's your launch.
Yeah, I agree. And for both of us, our previous employers were our first clients. We didn't have to have a website to be able to get that first client. Not at all. We just had that conversation. So don't worry about the launch. Don't worry about the website. Just start telling people what you're doing. And if you get your first person to say yes, and you want to then figure it out really quickly, jump into the members club, grab all the templates, all the steps are there, so you can just do it on the fly, knowing that whatever you need to know is there ready for you. Yeah. All right. Our last one is that you have to be an extrovert to find clients, because introverts can't put themselves out there. Surely not.
Oh, no. In fact, introverts are always the ones in the corner by themselves on their phone, not making eye contact with anybody. Isn't that right? That's an introvert, isn't it?
And so if anyone actually came to the summit, you would know that, this might actually be even released during summit week, but anyone who has been to the summit and listened to us, we did a session on finding clients as introverts. And so there's a lot of myths that we go through in there about introverts and extroverts. So if you haven't jumped in there and had a look, grab a ticket and jump in and have a listen to that one, because you absolutely do not need to be an extrovert to be able to sell yourself. It's just about doing things a little differently or in a way that fits with your personality better, and where you're most comfortable.
Yeah, don't let anyone kind of put you in that box or stick you in that corner. Jo, you're a natural introvert, and so am I.
Mhm.
And we've kind of learned over the years what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are when it comes to kind of that introvert side of us. But it hasn't stopped us at
Mm.
all. In
Yeah.
fact, I think it's actually made us better
Mm.
business owners and better virtual assistants for it.
Yeah, I think so too. And you can, like, so naturally, an introvert might not want to do a podcast or be on video, but like us being accountable to each other and pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone actually means that we can do those things. So, yeah, grab an accountability buddy, jump into the members
Yeah.
club, talk about it in the Facebook groups that you're in, find support with other virtual assistants to push yourself outside your comfort zone. To be able to find those clients. But honestly, you could be reaching out to people just on email in your current network as an introvert, which can feel fairly safe, and you can still get clients. So
Yes, we approve of that. Own your introvertness. Don't feel as though being an introvert is going to hold you back at all, because it's not.
yeah.
It's not.
So there we have it. That is the worst advice that we have ever heard given to virtual assistants. So I hope that if you have had that advice, that now helps. I think our overarching message here is that you really need to be careful about who you listen to and who you get advice from. They need to I like to frame it like this. I like to listen to people where I would happily trade places with them.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And if that's true, then those are the types of people that you should listen to.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Be very careful. I mean, even those closest to us, the ones that we tend to naturally kind of talk to on a regular basis about stuff that's going on in our lives, it may actually be that they are not going to give you the best advice in terms of a virtual assistant business, and that's okay. So that's okay to not go to that person anymore.
Mm. Yeah, listen to people that have been there and done it. Those are the best people to listen to when you're trying to build a virtual assistant business. So, yeah, I hope that helps everyone. Thanks to everyone for listening to this episode of the Sam and Jo VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the Savvy School website to check out the amazing members club and find more free resources.
You can find us at savvyschool.co.nz.